What's up, Sir PB and Robert? This is going to be a demo video to encompass both of your guys' sabers because they're all the same and I worked on them at the same time, so it was easier to do one demo, but we will of course go into detail on both of these separately. Okay, so Robert, you had asked for the clean version, while PB, you had asked for the weathered version up here, both running my crystal chamber add-ons, so thank you guys for the support on the sabers and then also for picking those up too, because I know the cost starts racking up after a while. All right, and then Robert, a special thanks to you also for naming the saber, because you were the one that came up with the name that I chose for this run, so thank you very much for that. We're going to go over my desk and take a look at both of these in detail, and then if everything looks good to you both, I will get them out in the mail to you tomorrow. Thanks. Alright, Robert and Sir PB, I've got both of you guys' sabers here. We're going to go over each of them individually. So Robert, you had the clean version. We'll go over that one first, and then PB will go over the weathered version that you had me do for you. So I just wanted to thank both of you guys for your support on this run of mine. This was something I've been working on for 9 months or so, trying to get this off the ground, and it's finally happening this week. So very exciting. Thank you guys very much. Robert, let's get into yours. All right, Robert, you are the one who won the contest on, it was a contest I ran on what to name this saber. I had no idea what to name it. I picked yours out of the bunch. I really liked what you did with that. So Coda, and then I had to ask you its meaning, and it had a very cool meaning as well. So thank you for your contribution to this run. You're responsible for the name. And so because of that, you won a free saber, but you had me install it. So here we are. All right, 2-button setup right underneath the clamp card, which is made out of brass. You have 2 buttons here. That's power. Back here, that's going to be auxiliary. Okay, these are just some brass greeblies. You got a brass Covertech, brass pommel. All right. You do have an 8-pixel LED strip underneath this guy right here, and there's some diffusion here. So I have, there's 3 blade styles on the font. There's a copy of the config file on the SD card, but these are running the Coda font from my buddy Keenan over at KSIF, who made the font for this run. And then the blade style was made by Andrew Jimenez. All right, and it was made specifically for this font and for this run as well. So you've got 3 blade styles. You've got your blade, you've got your crystal chamber, and this will be the 3rd one, although I did name each font in the blade style, or like each blade style in the config, so it's very easy for you to see which is which. All right, both running KR Sabers lit PCBs in here. This is your blade retention. We'll go over that here in a second. To get to your chassis, you just want to unscrew the handle. It should come off very easy for you. Take that off here, and here is your chassis. So you opted to go with the crystal chamber chassis that I designed for this guy. So we'll take a look at it up close. I hope that you like the way that that came out. Tried to make that very unique looking and had a lot of fun designing this. So I like to use resin crystals that I print. I'll print these resin crystals. They're kind of like a round tube. I'll take a Dremel to them, kind of rough them up and put some edges on them to make them look like a crystal. And I do that because I do a lot of greebly work on the inside, like these arms that are going over and touching the crystal, that little round greebly that wraps around it. It has to be very specific, so that's why I like to do that. All right. So that's what we've got there, a removable battery setup. Of course, it's going to take an 18650. Pop that in there. I've got that little strip underneath the wrap, just kind of riding right here on the edge. You put that in there. This is what your chassis looks like up top, running a Proffies board. Easy access to your SD card and your micro USB from right here. You do not have to move the board. In fact, it is adhesed down to the chassis because it doesn't need to be moved. All right. Kill switch right in front of the board. 28mm smoke goes outpost elite speaker. All right, so we come over here and flip the switch. Both of these are doing a little something different. So let me turn this light off real quick. We've got kind of a kit scanner going on here, and this one is a heartbeat. All right, let me turn the light back on. There we go. So your crystal shines nice and bright. Your LEDs are coming through that diffusion material very nicely. We'll hit power. This does a fast ramp when the saber's on. the crystal goes to matching the blade. In this instance, the blade style that was made is green per request, so Andrew did a really nice job on that. And you've got twist off feature. All right, so we'll go ahead and slap the handle on this guy, lock it down, come over here and hit power. A lot different sound when the handle's on. It's a very beefy boy. Very beefy boy. LEDs all lit up. Let's put a blade in here. All right, so blade retention right here. As you can see, it's sticking into the socket just a hair. We'll back that up. This is going to take a 7/8 inch diameter blade. So we'll put that in there, lock this all the way down, hit power. It fires right up. Of course, blaster bolts is just tapping auxiliary. Blade lockup is holding it down and hitting the saber. Loud boy. Oh yeah. And a little twist off action there if you want to play your soundtrack. Long press on the power. All right, do another long press to turn off, just like that. All right, so we'll take the blade out of here, lock this back down. Come over here, we'll take the handle off. Should come right off for you. Nice and smooth threads. Turn this on one more time. And kill the power with the switch, just like that. All right, and then when you're done, you should be able to pop it out with your finger. But that is your saber, sir, and how you operate it. I hope that you like the way that came out. Thank you again for your help in naming this run, which is a very, very important part of a saber run. So I'm gonna put this off to the side. PB, here is yours. Basically the identical setup except for yours is weathered. Okay, so hopefully it's picking up nice on camera, but as you can see, there's some differences, like in the handle here on the clean version, it's just a straight anodize. What I do with the handles when I weather them is I take the handles off. I take the, of course, take the Covertech and the pommel off, lock up the handle on my lathe, let it spin very fast, and I go over it with some sandpaper. That way I can get the, all these bump outs pretty even, and just wear that down a little bit because I like that look. All right, so that's what I did there. Weathered all the brass, all of the hardware, so like the screw for the Covertech, the screws that are holding in the clamp card area and your shroud here, those have been heat stained and no fingerprints. Okay, so heat stained with no fingerprints. Of course, the clamp card itself is brass. It's been weathered. These are brass and weathered. Put a few nicks on the shroud here just to give it kind of a used look. Used but not abused, right? So if we get to your chassis, again, we'll just take the handle off here. Slide that off, and yours is the same, except for I also weathered the crystal chamber. Okay, so we'll take a closer look at the crystal chamber going all the way around. The chassis I do not weather. I am not very good at using rub and buff. It's not something that I've ever been really good at. I stay away from it. So this is just a nice classic black carbon fiber chassis, which I thought complemented the Saber very well. All right, Proffies up top here. Yours also is adhesed down to the shelf, but access to the SD card and USB from right here. You have gotten quite a few Sabers done by me over the years, and it's always been kind of the same setup. So you're probably used to that, right? Kill switch right in front of the board. Removable battery setup. Excuse me, 18650. Snap it in there. 28mm Smuggler's Outpost Elite speaker. And you have the same coding, but you also have a copy of the config file on the SD card. So blade style 1 is the blade. Blade style 2 is the crystal chamber, and blade style 3 will be this 8-pixel strip that I did a sub blade for, because I take this, I wire it to that, and I wire that to the board. All right. Power. Auxiliary. Twist off, and then we'll put the handle on. These Sabers sound very different with the handle on, so you'll get some nice beef blade in yours? Of course, you got a KR Sabers lit PCB in there too. All right. Go ahead and take that out of the blade socket, but we don't have to take it all the way out. 7/8 inch blade. Lock down, power. Hell yeah. Blaster bolts, blade lock up. Soundtrack. Let that play for a second because I kind of cut it off short when I was showing Robert's. All right. Turn it off. Another long press. We'll take the blade out of here. All right. It only has one soundtrack or one sound font on it now, but of course it sounds like this.
Coda.
Coda. All right, we'll take the handle off here. Turn it on. Flip her off, just like that, and it kills power like it should. All right, and that PB is how you use yours. I hope that you like the way that came out. Both of you guys, I hope you like the way that these came out. They were very much a pleasure to do. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And it's pretty late in the day already now, so what I'll do is I'll end up getting these out in the mail to you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.